don't like you are a couple, then you want to buy, then but you know you love kids, and then within that 3 years you suddenly pop up two lah, and you're married, that kind of thing. So
correct.
Yes. So buy, stay, meet one of our consultants. We are also life experts. Can advise you. We are also life experts. What? We tell you also when you get married. Yeah.
Okay, this is listing inventory. That means a drop in the amount of listings available. Yeah.
Shortage.
So if there's a shortage of listing,
so red color means like suddenly increase supply.
Right?
Yeah,
so
like two-bedder increase. Maybe you got a TOP properties or whatever.
Strata landed owners come and find us now. Quickly, 19%.
Yeah, so two ways is that maybe, example, if I'm holding that particular type of property with a lesser supply, I'll be more bullish because like I got...
But then it brings back to the point that we have to balance it out.
Okay. Yeah. So give your viewpoint. Maybe Josh, what do you think about this? Like, okay, versus what you're seeing on the ground, what is your ideation of this? This is on a macro basis.
I think if you look at, firstly from HDB, right, the number of listings have actually dropped. I think partially also because a lot of buyers have actually bought into the market, then there's lesser supply out there. They have actually moved on. That's one way to look at it. The other way is they might only want to start to sell once they can find something that they want. So for example, if let's say they are looking for, say, a 3 or 4 bedder, I think they will only want to say, okay, I want to sell first, which is most of the time like this. A lot of our clients are in this kind of situation. They have not seen what they want, and then they don't want to start marketing first because they want to all achieve a seamless transition. Yeah.
Could it be also with this listing inventory, because we had a lot. I remember we had one slide where it showed the number of completed units from the launches.
During the webinars?
Yeah, during one of the webinars.
Okay. Yeah, what about that?
So if I'm zooming down to that, right, like majority of our owners and clients that are finding 3-bedder, what do they want? They want 1,000 square feet. They want a service yard. They want all this. So, but we know that TOP units that are as simple as 800 plus square feet 3-bedders, or even a 2-bed plus a flex room, and they market it as a 3-bedder. That's why the AR shows that for the 3-bedroom, there's an increase in 270 plus available listings or so. So that's when you would have to really meet a consultant to really sit down and understand this situation. And then the consultants are able to explain to you, oh, this happens, but it would take some time for people to start to accept 800 plus. It's with the harmonization of the square feet, the void, the aircon latch, and all that kind of thing. So I think government is trying to push all these units out. Yes, we get a smaller unit, but that's why there's not much people searching for these units. Then with the harmonization, majority of the new launches, they are going to be 800 plus square feet or so. Then it starts to reshape the entire search criteria. Yeah.
Lyndon mentions pricing already.
Oh, yeah.
Lyndon mentioned.
Sold already. Not one of my clients just bought Affinity. Kitchen also open.
Affinity,
yeah.
The TOP project.
Yeah.
How much?
1,565.
1.565.
Yeah. 850 square feet, 3-bedder.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really a very pretty decent size because it's the layout's weird because of the kitchen, but sooner or later we're gonna have to accept this. Because honestly, once you enclose the kitchen, right, you eat up a lot of space. So no choice, government developers have to be amazing in their architectural layouts.
Okay, sorry, let's come back to this. So what do you guys think about this inventory change, Joanne? What do you think?
I think inventory change also shows the absorptions or the trends on the market. You see that terrace houses, the number of listings have dropped. Also because I think within the landed category, terrace is also more of like a quantum play, easiest entry point into that category. So a lot of the listings, those at palatable quantum, say between 4 to 4.5 kind of range, I think those are very, very quickly snapped up. In fact, for the whole landed segment right now, it's also getting increasingly hard to find the right unit that ticks off a lot of boxes. We have served buyers on the ground.
Recently, you are serving a buyer that's hunting for D30 13, 14, 19, right?
Yes.
What is the, I mean, like, I saw in the chat group you're sieving through a lot of the listings available. What do you see? Is there a terrace house buyer?
Yeah, terrace house buyer. They're just basically upgrading from
what's
their
available
condo.
on the ground now? Like, what's the base entry price?
In those kind of area, but also bearing in mind that the districts that they're looking at also one of the more popular ones, right?
Near to good schools, right?
Yes, near to good schools. I think in terms of the land plot size, they're also not looking for the mini kind of land plots.
1,800, 1,900
Yes, looking for decent size ones. Quantum, you're easily looking at 4.2 and above. For those
what
cap
size?
2.5, maybe 1,008,
1,008 square
1,007.
feet.
Land plot size?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think if we rewind, because last year we had also another buyer looking for D15, same district. For move-in Cat 3, 4.5 you can find.
Which district again?
D15.
D15, okay.
Yes. But now I think for Cat 3 or even 2.5, the prices have really gone up above 4.5.
Yep.
Some are already inching towards that 5 mil mark, which is also getting increasingly hard for a lot of buyers to want to enter into that same district as well. Yeah.
Lyndon, what about you? Like, if you look at the non-landed, just now you're talking about like if you have an EC, you will sell.
No, if I have an executive, I'll sell now because there's a drop of 97 listings.
Oh, you mean like HDB?
Yeah, EA, EM. But you for EA, EMs, I tell everyone the same thing. Like, if you can sell, just quickly offload it because of the balance lease also. So that's the key thing, because for EAs, EMs, the balance lease averagely now is about 50 to 60 years right now for them. So the only people that are looking for this kind of sizes, right, they would be probably in their mid-30s. So, or early 30s, because they're starting out a family, maybe 2 kids, 3 kids and all that. So once they are, let's say the balance lease is left 50 years and they are 35, they cannot hit the minimum requirement to use their CPF all the way up to 95. So EAs, EMs, if you can exit, ideally exit now, because this would more or less be the last cycle. It's not for the same for the 4-room HDBs and the 5-room HDBs, because sometimes when you downgrade, you also want at least 3 bedrooms in the house. Yeah. But I just want to write on to also the landed, the pure landed, because what I am experiencing on the ground is that the terrace house prices have moved up significantly. So maybe sometimes and we are touching into a very new quantum where they are so close towards the 5 million. Once you cross the 5 million mark, right, you can start to enter into the next tier of like maybe semi-Ds. Yeah. So don't be so fixated on just buying a terrace house. Try to work around the magic, looking at pledging, unpledging, looking at stretching your loan tenure and all that, so that maybe you can cross early into the above 5 million mark. 5 million may sound very scary for mortgage loan and all, but you don't want to buy into a category, right, that that has moved up significantly also. So that's one very key point also. And start to look at maybe other outside, not so popular, like maybe like Bedok district, or maybe even Thomson, what's that down the road? Sunbird, yes, Sunbird, that area. Even towards opposite Castle Green, Seasons Park, that area is also fine. It's near to MRT, not so near to amenities, but once you're near to an MRT, generally you have amenities around you also. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the EM that Lyndon was talking about, right? Okay, so basically, I mean, my personal framework is that to decide whether should you sell your particular property now, it really depends on whether do you have a plan on where you want to go. Because my concept is always about whether are you shifting bigger or shifting smaller. If you are shifting bigger, it will always make sense to exit from the current one. In terms of comparing where you are now versus where you are going, which one has a faster rate of appreciation for your capital plus your overall property valuation? So if you are going from a category of property asset that appreciates slower to something that can and possibly appreciate faster, then you should quickly switch over, exit here at a price that is so-called absorbable in a faster fashion by the demographics that you're targeting. So if you're trying to fight price here in the sense that you're trying to challenge a new high, but you waste time here and end up this place that you're going appreciates much faster. So we have talked about that in a lot of different webinars, that if you are shifting from, let's say, a 5-year MOP property that has just hit MOP, and let's say you are planning to hit a target new high of a certain price, but the condo or landed you're going might have appreciated maybe 4x the speed. So maybe this one will appreciate 300,000 in the next 12 months. This one will appreciate maybe 100,000 in the next 12 months. But you are trying to challenge that 100,000, it will make sense to go there first to gain that extra 300,000 compared to 100,000. But if you're planning to retire and shift smaller, then you should always challenge the price. Take your time to challenge, get all the margins, then you cross over. So just now, Lyndon was talking about the EM, right? EM falls into a very interesting category. So EM, EA, Jumbo, because they are no longer in production. So basically, you need to know that as you drop in terms of lease period. So maybe share with us a bit. Average age of EM, EA is how old?
55 years.
Balance, I would say
50多年了
50多 60 years
50x years lah. Okay. As you start to progress downwards to 40x years, then here you hit like 30 over x years. You need to be very cautious in the sense that it will start to become like a collector's item already. It's a bit like those, you know, the
Vintage
Jalan
car.
Bahagia, the Interterrace HDB that we saw, right? You will become like that collector's item, and your audiences will start to get smaller and smaller. That means maybe here you still have like young families, but maybe once you're at that final stage here, you will only hit retirees. Retirees that just want to pay off for a big place, but they don't care about the balances anymore because maybe they are in their 60s already.
Portfolio, they don't care.
Yeah, they are not out to make money. They just want to sell off their landed condo. They wait 15 months, then they come into the HDB market. So you need to take note, your audience size will drop. It also might mean that the amount of valuation might also dip as well. But it really depends because I don't know whether will EA, EM, Jumbo become like a status symbol for like the Interterrace HDB also. Because Interterrace HDB, even though it's so old, right, it's sort of still appreciated in a sense. Yeah. So this is something to note. And I don't know what will happen to this category. But let's come back to this again.
I have something to add.
Yes, come.
This one. If you notice, right, actually the two beta have grown the most. I think nowadays a lot of people are of course moving away from the one beta. They are going into the next category. So this two beta, I believe, also was quite popular a few years back when a lot of buyers probably they identify and say that, okay, I do not want to go into one beta, I want to go into minimally a two beta. And then right now, I believe that the two beta is going to be the next mass market lowest entry price, which also means that if let's say you want to buy into something that potentially has, you know, a better appreciation, if you can go into something at least higher, three beta or more, and I think the growth will naturally be more in terms of your capital appreciation. Because I think two beta is going to be the norm in a lot of other places really. And most of the developers, they also don't.
So leveraging on George's point, right, is if a young couple come to you now and they can only afford a two beta new launch,
buy resale three beta.
Or resale three beta.
they can only afford a two beta new launch. Okay, for example, just name any. What's the quantum range? Or the two beta new launch?
1.3, 1.3.
1.3. You get 1.3?
OCR, RCR, fringe of.
New launch.
New launch. 1.5 lah, at least lah, right?
1.4 plus.
I think 1.4 can find.
Okay, somebody with 1.4, 1.5 budget, right?
Yeah.
Should they go for a 2-room new launch or should they go for a resale 3 beta? What's your advice for them?
Resale 3 beta.
Why?
I feel that like what we always say, names are very precious, but don't buy property for the sake of buying property. Because if you saw just last week, newspaper came out, right? Landlords are struggling to rent out because there's an oversupply of
DOP units.
DOP units, correct. So
is like, it was oversupply? Okay, you went to Affinity, right?
I went
just
to
closed
Affinity.
the deal at Affinity for your client, right?
Correct.
3 beta, they bought, right?
Yes.
What's the status there? Is it a lot of empty units or what?
A lot, I tell you. It is like, and I think...
Do you feel scared?
I don't feel scared because I'm a buyer.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was a seller, I think it would be a bit more challenging.
Like, why my unit cannot rent out?
And yes, cannot rent out, cannot sell. And I think the most important thing is that also some agents, they are getting, because maybe Affinity has TOP'd for quite some time already. And
how long was that? 6 months, right?
Yeah, I also did.
You need to have the holding power lah.
Yes,
right?
you need to have the holding power.
Yeah.
I did self-view a few units also.
Oh, that means what? They just ask you,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
go up, bro, give the password, go inside.
TOP projects all like that.
I did sell. I think over a span of like maybe 4 months.
Okay, because they
5
couldn't
months,
rush down in time.
maybe couldn't rush down in time, or
okay.
like, wow, it's just taking too long, and
they are desperate also. They
desperate
want
You
also.
specialize in affinity already.
I wouldn't say I can specialize in affinity.
So you bring your buyers for self-view.
Some units were self-view. The unit that we bought wasn't self-view.
Okay, actually in the States, right, self-viewing is very common one. It's just that in Asia it's different. But because in the States there's like lockbox, you go there. Because the agents in the States, to travel from unit to unit is very far apart. So usually the buyer's agent, they are all very professional. They will maybe have a CCTV or whatever, lockbox, then they just go in.
I feel if it's vacant unit, it's fine to self-view lah. But if it's owner-occupied stay, then it is a bit different to self-view because ultimately we don't really like the word, but we are salesmen also. We are salesmen, saleswomen. We need to sell the house. Yes. We need to bring on that charisma, George with his smiling face.
Okay, so the units you view are all vacant.
Yes.
Okay.
Only one was not vacant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming back to this, just now, what were you talking about?
We were talking about whether to buy
resale, right? 3-bedder. Why?
Because majority of even just normal couples, we think about it. Why do we need 3 bedrooms? Number one to sleep, 1 to game, or 1 spare bedroom, guest bedroom. Okay, then 1 is office. Then you need 3 bedrooms already. Even though if you are dual income, no kids, you also need 3 bedrooms already. Some people, they don't want to be working outside in the hall. For a 3-bedder, you get a bigger living room, you get an enclosed kitchen, you get more than enough space to move about.
Right. So you felt that for your couple friend, taking 1.565 million to buy a 2-bedder or 2 plus study and new launch, or maybe a 2-bedder new launch, compared to this 3-bedder affinity, is more worth it.
Yes.
Immediately they can stay brand new TOP, nobody stay before, 3 bedrooms, just go in.
Correct. But at the same time, they wanted to have a house immediately lah. They had the time. There's a bit of preference in terms of when they are getting the house also.
Okay.
But regardless the case, I would say that think of why you want to buy that property. Like I was on TikTok and I saw this girl who was just showcasing her life of staying in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Oh, I think I know which house.
Yeah. So she was very happy in it. If you are very happy in it, by all means go. Because once you have that priority or once you have that preference, right, it's not about making money already. It's about suiting your lifestyle.
Being happy also.
Yeah, correct. If you are very happy, money really cannot buy that. But if you have that option and you want to maybe sit on this asset progression kind of train, then buy into something that majority of people would need. I think anyone here in the studio, right, if you ask them, what's the minimum? A 3-bedder would be minimum, whether be it HDB or even private.
Can. Joanne, if we remove the personal preference point of view out of this whole thing, 2-bedder new launch versus 3-bedder resale, which one will you go for? Just remove the whole personal preference. Like really, is for capital appreciation. Okay.
I'm always very objective. You make it sound like I have a bias. I would say if let's say the horizon is maybe I want to exit, 3 years.
Okay, 5 years. 5 years.
Okay, 3 to 5 years. I think there's no harm going for 3-bedder resale because I think at this quantum 1.4, 1.5, either you're going for the outskirts like OCR at this kind of quantum, or if you're looking at RCR, it might be some of the older ones already. But I think if your holding period is not too long, meaning you're looking to exit 3 to 5 years, there's actually no harm going to this category, meaning some of the older resale, because if let's say you're going for the 2 plus study or 2-bedroom for new launches, like what Lyndon mentioned as well, in terms of the future exit, and also riding on to what George mentioned, it's going to be the mass market. When you want to exit in future, you're going to have a lot of competition, and you really need to be a unit of particular step, particular facing, your high floor to really stand out for you to be able to exit fast. But whereas in the case for 3-bedder in the resale, I think in terms of the supply, there isn't that much at this kind of quantum. So picking the good location still in terms of all the inherent factors, I think 3-bedder resale still can enter at 1.4, 1.5.
You will still prefer to go for a 3-bedder resale compared to 2-bedder new launch.
Correct.
OCR. How about Josh? Which one will you go for? You got 2 choices.
I will go for the 3-bedder resale. To me, I think it opens up the door to a lot of buyers. Firstly, I believe buyers will still have the budget. 3-bedder give you more flexibility. Next time you want, you can sell to people that wish to downgrade or people that wish to upgrade. 3-bedder will still appeal to a wider group of audience. And I'm always a believer that if you can go bigger, you go bigger. Yeah. So that would be my preference.
Also, I think at this quantum, for 1.53 bedders, I think RCR really very limited supply. I think a lot is in the OCR. And OCR, you see a lot of HDB upgraders demand.
Okay, let's just talk about OCR. Do you think this price at 1.5 million will be gone like very, very soon?
Yes.
Now is March already.
I think it will be gone very soon.
Are you hunting like now for particular buyers with this budget? OCR?
And not much.
What's the difficulty level?
Really. It's not much.
Okay, name some of the projects in the OCR. Like
Visionaire.
In fact, 4-bedder is even... No, I don't know where this 4-bedder 187 come from.
We have the detailed one.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll have. But,
but
I'm saying that...
No, I believe it's like probably TOP.
Yeah, correct. Likely TOP. But in the areas that we are finding, right?
Very hard to find.
No, it makes the buyer agent so easy because one page property guru, right? That's all. No more listings.
Because at this doesn't show the pricing also.
Correct.
So maybe you got 4 bedders, but they're like 2.5 million. Yeah. So it doesn't show the pricing.
Right.
So that we will have to
but let's say if you look at below 2 million, it's like nothing, right?
No, below 4 bedders. Have lah. Not much lah.
Very limited.
Not much. Have lah.
Yeah.
Have is have.
Name.
But I don't know whether real or not.
I
Also
think
lah.
Visionaire below 4 bedders below
4-bedder below 1.9 you can still find. 1.8 plus, low floor 1.5 plus, the compact 4-bedder you can still find. 1.5 plus 1.6.
Symphony Suites.
Symphony Suites.
Symphony Suites and Signature. I think the 4 bedders are at below 1.5.
Yeah.
You still can find.
I think below 1.5 signature.
Below 1.5?
Symphony Suites.
Symphony Suites.
Because
Signature, I think there was another one.
Because Symphony, we have to understand. So when we dive into the project, right, Symphony Suites, right? Wow. If it's not for the location, it will be one of my top picks also.
But I feel that area is going to have a huge revamp already.
Yes, because if you see to the back, right, Symphony Suites, North Kaya.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, last time Symphony Suites, a lot of people buy. Then after that, when you TOP, the price never
cannot move. So I was the first person to sell a 4-bedder there. It was very hard to move.
You want resale?
Yeah, resale.
You a round of applause, man.
13th floor.
Because got no balcony and all that.
Then my seller also pressure me also say, hey, Lyndon, I already option one landed.
Okay, act together.
You need to figure out something for me. You're not told. So, but it was because it looked very, we sold.
Then Sean also sold one.
I think recently also.
No lah, last year.
Someone has a more recent one.
Marketing a 3-bedder.
Okay. Because Symphony, it's 1,000 plus square feet only. And it's a 4-bedder. Dumbbell layout, landscape living, no balcony lah. But you got very nice lighting, bright lighting and all. The rooms are very decent size. Your kitchen is a good size. You have a service yard that leads like that you can expand.
Talk about the area. What do you think the area is going to change?
I think going to have a new resurgence. Not now, but I think in the next 7-8 years down the road, there's going to be 10,000 HDBs over there to be injected Yishun. My speculation is that with a new wave of housing, there will definitely be new transportation nodes. Everyone that goes into Yishun, right, will be jammed at Yishun Dam. Confirm jam one. So I believe there's going to be new MRT lines there, I believe.
At what? The Yishun Dam area?
At
maybe. The north part lah, the industrial estate area.
Yeah, because that area is too far flung already. So I believe that will be the next wave, the next resurgence.
I thought MRT lines are maxed out already.
That's what you think.
When I was selling it also, right, I had to figure out a way. There were 4,000 over upcoming BTOs. So if we open up the master plan and you see to the north of it, right, you see the entire plot, right, is zoned as residential.
That one now is still
forested area.
It's forest.
Right. So that could be the 10,000. So
and that is going to
how much is the 4-bedder at Symphony Suites now?
Now I'm not too sure, but we can easily pull up.
1.3?
Huh? 4-bedder
Last transacted.
Signature and Criterion has moved quite far lah.
The 4-bedders are also small. 1023 square feet.
Have moved quite far.
One of the smallest.
Yeah.
When I saw 4-bedders at 1141, I thought that was small.
You want to buy?
There's even smaller. 1023.
But was it
you are talking about
also?
the 3-bedders or 4-bedders?
4. 10 is all 1.3.
1.3 plus lah. Okay.
No, but that's the marketer. We have to see the transactor also.
So if you can buy this one.
Transactor, I think 1.2 plus.
So will you buy? One page only.
Buy.
There's not much listings.
Now, a lot sold out. Last time I think got four pages.
Lack of listings. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can. No, when I was hearing you guys sharing, I was just like,
very passionate.
No, because it just shows me that you guys are like value hunters. No, because like okay, because the question is prime in a way that if you have 1.5 million, will you buy a new launch or resale, right? So I just want to say I'm very proud of you guys because you are value hunters in the sense that you want to hunt for the ones with value. But of course, I also know that you have buyers that you will facilitate them in like buying new launches, analyzing for that. If the particular buyer really loves a new launch.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think, let's say if like from a seasonal point of view, you feel that this season now, if you can go into like bigger 3 or 4 bidders with 1.5 plus, you will recommend that lah, right? But of course, if your buyers really die want to go for a new launch, you also facilitate that.
Of course, I think exactly. If let's say the buyer is like what you mentioned, only for brand new, I want something that nobody has stayed in. I'm okay to wait. I'm okay to rent. Actually, a lot of the new launches in 2024 are still very beautifully designed. I think the landscaping is done very nicely. Yeah. The whole project design, airflow, unit layout, facilities are all still makes it a very good buy to consider also. So we're not biased. It's just that if we are put in a position where we really have to decide this or that, and my time frame is 3 to 5 years, our personal opinion is as such, but I think some of the new launches are still great to enter into.
Right. Okay. So come my next question. Let's play a scenario. Now it's 2024. Okay. I go 3 years later, 2027, where most of the projects were TOP.
Yep.
Then I go 2030. Okay. So what is going to happen in this kind of time frame? What do you guys think is going to happen in this particular time frame? In terms of, let's just visualize 3 years later, we're sitting here. We look at the state of all these projects that has TOP'd from 2027 to 2028. Like example, all the Lentor projects, all the projects that have been launched 2023 and 2024, which basically are these guys. All right, have a look at this. 2023, you saw all these projects, right? Like Terra Hill, Continuum, Grand Diamond, Reserve, Tembusu, Lentor Hill Residences, blah, 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 Arden. Okay, and then of course, all this going to be launched this year. So we're going to see, also coupled with the 5-year cycle. 5-year cycle in the sense that by that time, we might enter into a brand new price range as well. Okay, so look at this. Let's just project 3 to 4 years later. Okay, why I think this will be helpful is that if somebody is contemplating to take action now, it will be helpful for them to visualize what will happen 3 or 4 years later in terms of the fact that they will be collecting their keys. See, they will collect their keys. This is going to TOP already. So a lot of buyers, when they buy, right, they do not have like a visualization of what is going to happen on 3 to 4 years later. They all, okay, see, when you buy a new launch, the moment you buy, you will always feel good, man. Okay, you will feel good. And then you take the brochure back. You sell the S&P, you pay the 5%. Then after you do your loan and all that kind of stuff, then you bring the brochure, bring the paper back home. Then after
the
you
velvet brochure, you
bought a new launch. You feel good. And the progressive payment is awesome also because you're paying very little, $300, right? And there's no stress. You don't need to pay property tax. You don't need to rent out, no MCST. Only when you collect the keys, then you go for inspection and all that. You feel good. But it will be good to visualize what is going to happen 3 to 4 years later on. Are you going to move in? Are you going to rent out? Are you going to sell? What will be the market in 3 to 4 years' time? Maybe start from anyone ready. Like what do you think will be the state of supply and demand as well by that time? Just imagine the whole Lentor is like, wow, so beautifully done, right? Then a lot of all these projects are completed. Let's just visualize that. A lot of the MRT stations are also going to open. So there's only 3 in 10. Either you buy to stay or you buy with a hope to flip and sell, right? Because a lot of young professionals, they really don't need to stay on. They actually are single professional doing well. They just want to buy and flip and sell 3 to 4 years later. Or they want to rent out. Okay, what do you think will be the state in 3 to 4 years' time? Come.
Okay. If I start first. I talk about a category on the flip and sell. I think if you're adopting the mindset of you just want to flip and sell in 3 years, I think that will be challenging. Why, right? Is because number one, at the 3rd year mark, right, that is still a sub-sale, likely still a sub-sale period. When it's a sub-sale period, ideally they want to sell near to the TOP price. But I don't think the market will be ready to accept the TOP price because buyers that are hunting for sub-sale, right, they are usually value hunter and they still want to get into a price that is still not at the TOP stage. So the owners that is holding on to that, right, they might feel that, can't really hit the price. So they are in a dilemma whether to sell or not to sell. And sub-sale is always quite challenging to execute a sale. Once they collected the keys, then the dilemma will start even more because they will be competing with other neighbors. And then they are thinking, if I want to rent out, then I can't sell. If I want to sell, then I need to pay the mortgage. So I would say if you're at that stage, right, and you never prep for like say 4 years plus or more, and to sustain this kind of impact, right, then you might be in for a shock. That is my opinion. And I don't think it's so rosy that, once 3 years you want to sell, you can sell immediately. Unless you are prepared to say that I don't hit that kind of TOP price and I'm okay to let go with a comfortable amount of profit. So I think that will be the mindset for most of the homeowners. They might reach the dilemma when they collected their keys if they are in the flip and sell category.
Okay, so I have 2 questions here. One is that, George, you're trying to say that if you are having the flip and sell mindset, go for the worst case scenario in the sense that you might not be able to achieve the profit margin you are looking at.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Is it because we have passed that era of Sterling Residences, Park Esta, where the buyers had that flip and sell mindset, and because they were accelerated by the COVID catalyst, a lot of people were exiting at $300,000 to $500,000 or even $600,000 profit margin. But now, let's say if we look at some of the latest projects at TOP, like Affinity or that, do they have that profit margin?
No.
Okay, so maybe share a little bit about like how should somebody phantom this kind of mindset? And my second question is that, does the bedroom type
matter?
Yes, like if somebody is holding a 1-bedder, hold 3 years, 2-bedder, hold 3 years, 3-bedder, hold 3 years, 4-bedder, hold 3 years. Like, share with them like the typical kind of like PSF gain versus quantum gain also.
I think the holding period, right, have to mentally prepared to hold for say 4 years if you really want to see a decent gain. And also to prepare for any potential competition from your neighbors and then from those that, for example, they can hold on because maybe some of them are just buying with pure cash and then they can just hold on to that and then they can just put it up for rental. And then your competition or your future pricing will largely be dictated by the number of or the kind of transactions that actually hit the resale market, right, once the 3 years are up. So I would say 4 years to be comfortable, not going to be so rosy as 3 years. And then once you collected the key, have to be mentally prepared either to just put it out for rental. Even a rental will be quite competitive because you have a lot of other neighbors trying to rent out at the same time.
So let's have a look at the Affinity. And this is basically like based on 178 profitable transactions. I think they still see good transactions in terms of profit gain. It's just that the trend is very clear. I mean, based on what we've always said, if I sort by profit, the ones that makes the lower amount usually belongs to the smaller ones. And also take note that this is like just based on paper gain. We haven't factored in like your stamp duty you have paid, some of the bank interest and of course your transaction fees. But if you look at the big ones, pretty decent actually. 300,000 to 400,000 is pretty decent.
9.5%. Sure. 9.5%.
Yeah. And of course the entry is based on like a 4-year entry period, like 2019 to 2020, 4.5 years I would say. Yeah.
The fella got seller stamp duty.
Yeah. So averagely 2-bedders they're looking at about 150, 100 over 1,000. Yeah. 3 and 4-bedders about 300,000 to 400,000.
So this is very obvious that we're moving back towards pre-COVID already. 3-bedders, I think anywhere along the 200,000 range profit, paper gains, that is pretty decent already. 300 is like really good. 400 is that we need an epidemic. Yeah. So that will be. So let me share my thoughts on this. So we are only looking purely at new launches, right?
Yeah, we're talking about like the mindset of a new launch buyer because they only have these 3 mindsets.
Okay.
Yeah. So how should they phantom and be prepared for this?
Okay. So let me address the all three mindsets.
Yes.
Okay, so for the first stay mindset, whatever you buy and you stay, you'll always be happy. Right? Just buy for future planning. I think generally if
Just buy and be happy.
yeah, just buy and be
Don't
happy
think
because
so-
you are
don't
staying
think so
already.
much.
Yeah. You look
Why are you laughing? I don't
No,
know.
like he wants to say
you look
something.
like you have,
No, but that one, right? Okay, I realize a lot of people, they never future-proof enough.
yeah. So of course when you buy, right, you have to future don't like
Yeah.
don't like you are a couple, then you want to buy, then but you know you love kids, and then within that 3 years you suddenly pop out two lah, and you are
Yeah.
married, that kind of thing.
So-
So
Correct.
yes, so buy, stay, meet one of our consultants. We are also life experts. So we can advise you.
Okay.
So what?
So
Life,
right, some people, right, maybe
life
for example,
consulting.
We are also life experts. What? We
Plan for
also
your
when you get
rest.
married,
Naturally, like-
yeah.
No, like some people, okay, for example, right, they are maybe at their 30 plus, they are, I would say at the prime of their career.
Yep.
Some of them are very conservative. They know that they can buy up to about, say 1.7, but maybe they buy 1.5 because they're scared of, I don't know what, recession and stuff like that. Then after that, they say they regret. Yeah, I should have bought a bigger one. So I just met one client, stays at a 4-bedder Jadescape. Exactly the same thing. Now they have baby, and then they say, oh, because I have baby, the life experience comes in already. Oh, I'm gonna have a nanny, and then my parents will want to stay in together. Then now I got a dog. Yeah, 4-bedroom not enough. Had I bought a 5-bedder that time, I don't need to move already. So I think you really need to think a little bit further and see whether do you want to stretch at that point of time, because you know that maybe 3 years later your career will more or less be settled, and you know that okay, I already future proof already.
But they could have bought a 5-bedder also lah.
Yeah, correct.
I would say on hindsight, there's always a lot of I should have done this, done that. But
Yeah, on hindsight, correct.
most importantly, I think it would be wiser and safer to enter into a unit type that at least gives you the ease of exit. At least they enter into a decent 4-bedder. I don't think that is hard to exit. In fact, 5-bedder, I would think maybe the audience pool might be smaller, but if
Yeah,
that's
right.
something that fulfills their needs and they have plans to expand their family and all that, and if they can stretch, I think that's still something that they can consider. Coming back to this one, I think regardless of whichever objective it is it for own stay or you want to flip and sell, rent out, I think pricing is still something that the entry price when you're comparing the new launches, or even if you're considering the alternative, which is the resale, the pricing, PSF and quantum is still the most important. Because even though we say that new launches is also on an all-time high, but we must also note that a lot of the resale have already climbed up in terms of asking PSF. If you look at a lot of the RCR, Park Colonial, Woodley, they are asking PSF for the 2-bedders. If let's say you're considering between the 2-bedder new launch and resale, the 2-bedders resale are already asking 2001, 2002 PSF, which is very comparable to what some of the balance units at Lentor are also asking. Those are the 2-bedder. So I think that is also something that you might want to consider and look into if that is something, if this resale category is an area that you can also explore into as well.
What is it that you advise your buyers and investors that once they hit a certain target, offload and move on during TOP?
Because you want to move on to what is the next season already.
Actually, I will
Yes.
buy because 98% of them are sitting on a huge margin. 2029, I tell you, all the owner will be so motivated to exit because they are sitting on so much gain. I just need to ride on the wave.
We ended earlier than expected. I thought it was going to be 6.
Yeah, I thought we would have like the half